morning and welcome to the Weekender. We are surrounded with 4 deep. It's not even a spit roast. There's 4 of us.
We're still missing Warren.
I'd rather be at the back.
Well, I'm not missing Warren.
Ah.
I have it on good authority that Warren is deeply, deeply missing you. He's repeatedly texting me, you know, don't forget the letter of the alphabet and all this kind of stuff.
So which letter are we brought to this week?
I don't think we're going to do it. I think we're going to save it. We're going to save it for when Warren comes back.
Warren's going to be sitting here. You'll just see the face turn red for a few seconds, and then it'll just all come out in a big spiel of bile for a laugh.
What will all come out?
All of his mings.
Yep. Okay.
All his mings.
So his mings
all
going to come out.
Well, he's had a whole 2 weeks to think of something.
It is going to be stored in his system waiting for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just going to be, you know, a toxic build-up waiting to be purged.
Yeah.
For those that don't know who everybody is here just gibbering away, obviously we've got the wonderful, the slightly
demented.
I was going to say bearded, but
slightly bearded.
Walrus like.
Hang on, this is getting to comedy villain length now.
I would like to see that.
What comedy villains do we know who have beards?
Well, there's Kane, stick a nod symbol behind my head.
Yeah.
Would you say Kane from Command and Conquer was a comedy villain?
Yeah. It was poorly acted, let's face it.
Kane, famous for his stand-up routines.
Ming the Merciless, though. He's definitely a comedy villain.
Ming the Merciless is there. I mean, it's getting to the length where I could turn it into the classic Fu Manchu.
Anyway, before we digress too far, so we have Justin, who everybody should know from Beasts of War.
Hello.
We have Sandhurst Gavin from Beasts of War.
With the cufflinks.
Complete with cufflinks of power.
Even this early in the morning.
A bit like Wonder Woman, yeah.
Yeah, the Brezza has nothing to do with that.
And those that have seen some of the videos from a few months back, or those who have travelled into the future and seen some of our high-off coverage, we have Andy joining us as well.
Or anyone who has seen Stu play a game and been beaten, probably Andy.
Or me.
Yeah.
No, I lose to anybody. But yeah, no, both Andy and Gav do routinely give me a sound seeing too.
Over the table.
Anyway,
I'm saying nothing. Moving on.
What do you want to start with? Battlebox stuff?
Yeah, first episode went out this week. Gav, you were anchoring it.
Yep. Yeah, it's been really good. It's just nice getting some of the War Machine stuff out there, getting people into the game, and also, you know, showing them where they can move on from the initial start, which everyone does, and where to go from there. I mean, we've got more videos coming up. Hopefully, the Cricks at some point, which is close
the one
to my cold black
menacingly
heart.
rubbing your hands for.
I hope you haven't done Retribution yet, you know.
No, we're just doing the good starters.
Oh, damn.
No, we are planning to do each of the factions. I think next up is Menoth, if I remember correctly.
I believe so. Then Signar, then Cricks, which is all the core main factions, and then the offshoots like Retribution.
Yeah, so what? Plan is we'll go through all of War Machine, move on into Hordes.
I believe so.
You're going to cover Convergence though before you do Retribution, I'd imagine.
Oh, yeah, probably. I mean, they're going to be better.
Minions as well.
Minions,
they can turn up in...
Mercenaries, I mean, it's not even a Battlebox of them, but I'm sure we can find something before
actually, there is a Battlebox. There's an old metal one that you can't find anymore.
So,
okay, yeah.
So there's not a Battlebox.
Yeah, so there's not a Battlebox then.
There's still 1 or 2 knocking about. Check eBay.
Are you that upset I keep beating you both?
Once.
No, to be fair...
That's a lot for me.
I lose quite frequently to Andy's Retribution. He's got quite a nasty line in cavalry and
rules.
Guys with bows and, to be honest, anything.
I will assume much stealth.
Yeah. Anyway, so what about, and then Hordes after that?
Yeah, we can move on to Hordes after that because it's roughly the same system, so it is just the same again.
Cool.
But there's nothing really to stop us going into any game system at all with this
Monster
with the series.
Apocalypse?
Monster Apocalypse, Infinity.
Oh, I can think
Well, you see, there's one thing that might stop us there.
Go on.
Are they not produced anymore?
No, there's Monster Apocalypse, but you were very keen to kind of go support that one.
No, but we could do
Dystopian Wars,
Dystopian Wars, Infinity,
Firestorm.
Any of them.
Oh,
Firestorm
Infinity.
would be good.
Yeah,
Because a lot of us downstairs have actually picked up Firestorm fleets and we haven't started playing yet.
No.
Are they all grey?
Just mine.
At the moment,
Just mine.
at the moment, I still have to get time to paint.
And this is your Gundam scheme.
Yes,
if I remember correctly. So
the ones that really annoyed Stu. Just don't start this. I don't want the look of death again.
It's not look of death. My thinking on, bearing in mind this is coming from a guy that paints his stuff in either silvers or golds or boring greys. Yeah. But that aside, my thinking is, if you have a theme or a colour scheme or an idea for your army, if you have to explain it to somebody, it probably needs a rethink. It should be something that somebody should just see it and go, oh, I get it. Oh, I totally get it.
Okay.
And with fleets as well, they're a fleet of like-minded ships which would normally have a similar scheme amongst them all, rather than each being individually coloured.
Yeah, but that might be the thing.
Yeah, but it's tricky.
No, I know exactly what you mean. But that,
I'm looking forward to seeing this horrible mess.
As most of my paint jobs are.
No, I tell you what. I think you're right. I think if you pull it off, it's going to look awesome. And I think for people that get your is it Macross? Were you doing Gundam, close enough.
Manga.
For those that Ghost in the Shell, Appleseed, whatever it was that you were doing.
No. This is a family show. Bad guy, bad.
An overfiend army. Should get the infected, or whatever they're called. What are the ones with all the weird tentacles and stuff bursting out of them?
Yeah, that is the infected.
Yeah, do an infected Europe's Kadoji fleet.
Yeah.
That could be quite entertaining.
Lots of purples and pinks. And
Warren is going to watch this and go, aha!
And nurses all like ruptured apart.
Oh, I don't think we need to be talking about this early in the morning.
That's how I get started in the morning. I don't know what you're talking about.
When he says get started, he means just up and out in the morning.
Yeah. I'm surrounded by very strange people, guys. Help. Save me. I'm chained to my desk most of the time.
Now
willingly. I mean, we don't chain him. He chains himself. I mean. It's the collar and ball gag that gets me, but it keeps you quiet.
And all of a sudden, we've had to put the parental warning on this episode. Good morning, guys.
So, moving swiftly on.
Yeah.
What else was there that's been called? Deadzone. So you were at Mantic, weren't you?
Yes, I finally got a chance to play the game after the entire day trying to crowbar myself in at the table with Jake. I finally got a game. It is light, it is easy, it is wonderful. I was actually really surprised. Anyone that keeps an eye on the site will have seen earlier in the week, Warren got an interview with Jake and James, and they chatted a little bit about the movement system. Whenever I watched it through, I didn't really know how it was going to work, but once I got playing it and actually saw when you move, you can move to any point within the squares to actually get your true sort of line of sight. It makes the game so much lighter than trying to measure things out.
Okay, that sounds quite cool. And the terrain, because I think the terrain, as interesting and excited as people are with the Warpath universe and Deadzone itself, I think like most things, and no offence to the guys at Mantic, but most of the things that Mantic produce, yes, there is the benefit of using it for whatever the Mantic originally designed it for, but also a lot of it very easily carries over into 40k or Infinity or whatever.
Yeah.
So with the terrain, how did you find the terrain for Deadzone?
The terrain is absolutely stunning. What I love most about it is it's completely reusable. So you're not building it, gluing it together, and that's your piece of terrain. No, you click it together. When you're done, you can take it apart, rebuild it, reshuffle it, so your board can always be changing, so you're not playing the same game on the same board over and over.
Sounds quite cool. No. So a little bit like Necromunda, all the way without the cardboard.
Yes, but cool. the system itself is really cleverly designed, because basically imagine a Meccano set for wargamers, that really lets you just change and do anything you want with it, because there's no set way to build it. Fine, you can be shown how to build a tower, a building, whatever.
Is it pre-painted or...?
No, it's all based. What is your obsession with painting?
Well, no, I'm thinking if you are taking it apart and put it back together again, the only problem you could potentially have is scuffing the paint, but then you just varnish it heavily and...
Or airbrushing or whatever.
No, airbrushing is cheating. You can't. It's not real. It's not a real form of painting, is it, Andy?
No, it's definitely not.
I'll assume this is an old argument between you three. Would you perhaps like to left alone with the room for a moment to batter the hell out of stew?
We're both airbrushing. Thumbs up.
Okay. Why am I going to get? Why am I about to get a battering? What's this?
You're outnumbered by them if I leave.
No. It's just between us.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, they're disagreeing.
Sorry, I thought they were chatting to you. Sorry.
No.
I have completely misread this, guys. I apologise.
So if you two want to disagree with each other and then kick the crap out of Stu, that'd be fine.
Yeah, pretty much.
Whoops, I've opened my mouth, inserted foot yet again. I happen to do it a lot.
No. I refuse to believe that. Faction-wise, who do we like from Deadzone?
Faction-wise, for me, it has to be the Rebs. I've only seen artwork, and I think there's an image of a couple of the minis so far up. I like the different feel of them. Because, fine, you say Mantic, you can slot a lot of their stuff into other systems. The Rebs are completely original.
Yeah, they've got a cross-section of aliens and things like that. It's not just a single
so
race.
Many different variations within it of different races, and they don't look like
existing races.
Yeah. So a rebellion of of races that are oppressed by the human
the
galactic
corporation.
empire.
Yeah. So the whole idea is they're all the smaller ones that are able to come together against them.
All they need is a few towel, and then they do
Yeah.
It's a trap.
Did we really make a Star Wars reference?
I thought we started it when we were talking about the rebellion.
We've had
but
May
there
the
you go.
4th, you might as well...
Yeah, we might as well go for it.
How good are those Wave 3 Star Wars minis?
They are very nice.
I keep resisting getting into the X-Wing game, but I tell you
I
what,
was surprised by the Mouldy Crow. I thought they might have done the...
Outrider?
Yeah, the Outrider first.
Yeah.
But
I think they probably wanted a smaller ship, though. I think the Outrider would have been a large ship, same as the
Falcon.
and I thought the
Falcon
B-Wing
as
might have been a bit bigger.
Well, it's
But it's probably to scale.
It's about the right size, but it's the biggest of all the fighters.
And can you mount it sideways?
Apparently, rumour has it, bear in mind, we've not actually laid hands on the miniatures yet.
Yeah.
The shuttle's wings fold up.
Yep.
And the B-Wing's flight stand apparently can rotate
Turns.
90 degrees.
So it goes to
That's
flight
kinda
mode
cool.
and attack mode.
Yeah,
Very nice.
Everyone loves a B-Wing
Yeah.
and an A-Wing, and
Yeah, although myself and Lloyd have actually both given in and both bought starter sets. So Lloyd is going Imperial, I will be going
Impeccable
Rebel.
taste. Yeah.
Lloyd has picked up Slave 1, I have the Falcon sitting waiting, and as soon as we both get a little free time, it's just going to be a fight to the death.
Fantastic.
Yeah, cannot wait for it.
Now, did you not go Imperials because you didn't like the grey scheme?
Again with this! No, I just like the Rebel faction.
So Andy, what would you go for, do you think, between the two? Because I remember going back, Andy and I have known as
definitely.
I've known Gad many years. So I remember years and years ago on your DX4, was it?
X-Wing, the game,
And
if you ever
playing
remember
X-Wing,
that.
LucasArts
Fantastic
X-Wing.
game.
And I was blown away because I'd never actually seen a PC before, let alone... Oh, no, I hadn't.
His first response was to set fire to the house.
I'd like Amigas and Commodore
Witchcraft!
Commodore 64s and stuff, but I hadn't seen an actual PC.
Yeah.
So I remember going over Andy's, and Andy had X-Wing on there, and I think B-Wing had just come out. And it was just fantastic. So is that really where you're going to go, Rebellion, or?
Yeah, I've always been a fan of the X-Wing, Y-Wing sort of thing. Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, probably. I have a soft spot for the old TIE fighters though, especially the TIE Interceptors.
There's no TIE Defender. If there was a TIE Defender, I'd be sold.
No,
Wave
Hopefully soon, yeah.
Wave 4.
yeah, I was going to say that may come out if it does run.
What about you, Gev?
I think Imperials. Even though I really like the Jedi and everything else, there's not that much Jedi side of things to the X-Wing game in terms of the fighters and everything else. So yeah, the Imperials, just because it's harsh and nasty, and they're always good fun.
I would like to see a small expanded game to actually do the Battle of Hoth. You know, with the snow speeders and the AT-ATs.
Yeah.
I think that would be so fun.
ATSTs. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. That would be kind of cool.
That'd be good.
Wampers.
Lots
of wampers.
Excellent. So that's so stay tuned. From coming soon from Fantasy Flight Games, the Wampa game. So it'd be like it's X-Wing. It'd just be Wampa, and you just get in the box set. You'd get what, 3 Wampas? Would you get?
Yeah, a few Imperials to get
some
eaten up.
Tauntauns as well.
Yes, Tauntauns.
Yeah.
Luke.
Yeah. But they really can't go anywhere with the game system, so they actually could do that if they really want it.
Exactly, stuck in Hoth. Where do you want to go?
First transport is away, and for scale purposes, you could have a tiny Star Destroyer stick-on that you stick on your ceiling to show how far away it is.
It's a micro machine one. It'll be fine.
There you go. So if Fantasy Flight Games are listening, I think this has got legs. I think this is.
I think you may have just found a new development team.
Our rates are very reasonable. I think so. Wampa, the miniatures, pre-painted miniatures game, coming soon from Fantasy Flight Games. Thank you very much. Yes.
Can we get that on Kickstarter?
Kickstarter. Well, I know Disney would own it now, though, wouldn't it?
Oh yes, it would do. Yeah, you're right.
So you'd have what, Wampas and
with big shoes and fluffy towels
gloves.
and
Gloves.
See, the funny thing is,
Steamboat Wampa.
The funny thing is, does that not make Princess Leia a Disney princess now?
Yeah, does indeed.
It does.
Only from Return of the Jedi early parts of. That would be very nice. I'd like to see that on a float. Thank you very much.
And Luke is a prince.
Yeah.
That could just go horribly wrong.
Speaking of things going horribly wrong, Convergence of Cyriss. Let's talk about them.
I don't think they went horribly wrong. I'm liking the style of them.
No, I don't mean from a miniatures range. I mean if you're a fan of things in flesh rather than.
Or if you're facing them.
Yeah.
Things have gone horribly
well,
wrong.
they look look interesting. It's different slant on a faction, and they work very well. They work differently from.
It's a War Machine faction. You'll take Jacks.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll take a lot of War Jacks with.
It's a novel idea, but I like it. I think.
Well, I mean, I do like the idea that your Warcaster's Mat and Rat stat actually transfer across onto your Vectors.
Yeah.
You know, it gives it a nice dynamic. It gives it its own feel.
And it does. It means you're really going to tailor your army a lot more from your Warcaster, because you take a standard army and there's units you'd use with anyone. With the Warcasters, I think one of them's only got a rat. I better say BS then. He's got a BS of 2.
Not going to do a lot of good.
Wrong system, my friend.
He's got a rat of 2. So because that applies then to all his...
you're clearly just going melee heavy vectors.
You're not going to take anything that's got shooty, whereas normally you could take a bit of both. So
you
it changes things that way, but you've got the system now where you can bounce the focus between the models once they've used it, and that's going to be interesting.
See, it also gives you the thing of normally slotting out a Warcaster, it changes your army a bit.
Yeah, now it changes.
Doing it with these guys, it completely changes every bloody mini in the range that's going to be affected by it.
It's a contentious point. Do you think that the Convergence of Cyriss, going back to painting again, do you think the Convergence of Cyriss will appeal to people who don't particularly like painting and they want to get something painted? But Necrons in 40k really did appeal, certainly previously.
Dry brush it
maybe
silver,
not so
put the
much
green
now.
rod in, done.
It used to be, exactly,
there's an even easier way than that. 3 cans of spray paint. Spray, 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 bit of wash, bit of lights, job done.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, there's going to be armies out there painted really, really, really well, as always. And, there is fantastic ways you can do it with the glow effects and everything else. But, if you aren't comfortable with painting, it's something you could get on the table really quickly.
Yeah.
You look at the army painter sprays, like you said, you just pick up a metallic, you pick up a wash.
The painter range is
done.
designed.
See, I would go black to grey to silver.
No, but if you did the army painter, you don't have to do black. You just go grey. Well, sorry, silver straight away, and then just do a dip, and then a bit of colour on top.
You see, I think Andy's got an interesting view on this because you're a rep player, a Retribution player. Now, I think Retribution are a little bit like the Eldar in Tau to a degree, in the sense that they're an army which, if they're painted properly, if they're painted in the way that they're supposed to be, and you actually, because they've got a lot of big flat areas. So if you just do them a really basic block colour that isn't one that suits them particularly well, I think they look terrible.
I've seen some odd ones like red.
Really strong colours, like strong purple or something like that. Unless it's done well, I think it looks terrible. And I'm wondering whether Convergence, if they're just sprayed silver, I don't know, because they've got a lot of detail on them. So I'm thinking spray them silver and wash.
You can wash and dry brush. It's very forgiving. Very forgiving.
Whereas on the flat surfaces of Retribution,
you can't do that.
You can't do that. You've got to be very
smooth. Because it just pulls really weirdly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I would you say if Convergence are potentially now going to be the easiest army to paint, potentially, would you say Retribution are the hardest of the War Machine factions?
Not necessarily.
I don't know, because a lot of the Jacks do have those big flat surfaces.
They're fairly simple.
Well, that's the problem though, because if you can't paint smoothly, that looks really bad. If you can get a nice layer down,
but if you can do the main coat with a spray can, you can airbrush it white, or you can use an undercoat white, and you've got that. Whereas I think something like maybe Legion, where they've got lots of organic kind of purples, and that could be quite challenging to paint.
I must admit, that's why I was deliberately not including Hordes,
because it's a different kind of fish.
Because they've got living creatures, and I think that is, I agree with you, I think that is more difficult sometimes to do, because you've got flesh tones and lots of flesh. If you dry brush flesh, it can look a bit weird.
Yeah.
Whereas the Warjacks, I mean, I'm a Menoth player, and I've even painted a couple. And they've got large, big, flat panels, but actually you can get away with having slightly dirty, grimy-looking armour because of the greasy kind of steampunky kind of feel
all the
to it.
soot and stuff.
Yeah,
whereas Retribution can't.
I know what you mean. Yeah, exactly. They're probably. Yes, you're right. They're probably out of the War Machine factions. They're probably the more trickier to, because if you've got the large flat surfaces, you're painting a colour which naturally doesn't tend.
And you can't really
to
shade
spread
it
very well.
easily,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to build it up in layers and water down, and you probably
and all the blending between different shades of trying to light it up.
Whereas
freehand wise, I suppose
fairly...
you could do a lot of nice work on the large surface if that was your thing.
Yeah, you can do.
Well, I mean, some of the artists you see these days literally do just use a mini as a different canvas for them to paint on.
None of us.
No, clearly none of us. Perhaps for man.
That said, some of Gav's stuff. Gav, I knew Gav before he could paint, and Gav used to be probably in the same area where I am, which is the dips and things with your friends and very simple washes, get it done at the table. But then Gav seems to have struck a painting style using airbrushes and other bits and pieces. Well, it's not all airbrushing; he does do other bits and pieces as well, and that seems to really work for you. And
well, I mean, Metal come out really nicely. My Crick stuff.
I really like your Cricks. I was going to say, I think your Cricks are some of the nicest models you've done, particularly where you've done like the directed lighting and things. So it's not just. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I think painting-wise, Andy was kind of on it where he was talking about technique and things. And I think if you get a technique that works for you, it doesn't matter what you're painting. If you get a technique that works for you, you can turn out fantastic results. If you just kind of scrabble about or try and keep trying something new, okay, that's fine. You can explore different ways to paint, but I think you get better results if you find what works for you, and then just try and do that to the best that you can.
See, the one other thing I always find helps. See, if I'm painting, if I pick my colour scheme to start with, I'll pick maybe my main shade. I'll pick one lighter, one darker, and it means I know I'm not going to be mixing a little bit of white here, there, whatever, just trying to get exact shades up or down to get everything looking nice. And then trying to get that same shade again. Because I know if I have 1, 2, 3, I can just work from those 3 for my main tone, my base tone, and my highlight.
Always helps as well, because if you go away, don't paint for ages and come back again. I'm still trying to remember what paints I used last time, and it's causing me a lot of pain. Which shade of green did I start with and then move up from there? If you know you've just got those 3 colours, that works a lot better.
And plus, obviously, as well, if you do leave it, you choose a paint that's discontinued for whatever reason, then you're
not thinking of your salamanders, where I think possibly they've changed. Because your salamander space.
I think I'm quite lucky though, because the colour that it has replaced that, I can't remember the name.
But they were snot green originally.
Close.
But didn't snot green? You've had two generations of snot green, haven't you, on there? Because didn't the colour changed slightly when they redid it?
Fairly similar.
And now it's obviously a totally different paint.
It is a totally different paint, but it's still fairly close. Yeah.
They're not going to end up goblin green or something like that. Then.
Oh, God forbid! No, they'd look awful, wouldn't they?
Apologies to all Salamander players who have goblin green.
We are talking about bright green little miniatures. How you can describe something like that as being beautiful, I don't know how.
Orcs. There's some pretty orcs.
Yes, but it's not just bright green. There are different subtle shades and stuff. I mean, like if you look at some of Roman's tutorials, he has done a few different types of orc skin. So some of it's a lighter green, moving through darker tones, whenever it's just a bare armor plate, you're not really going to get much variation on that. It's like you were saying with the Hordes versus War Machine.
Yep.
Painting something that's organic versus something that's meant to be a plate of metal. It's a very different result you're going for.
Yeah, and I think again that's one of the other things is that Hordes armies. I'm going out on a limb here, but I think Hordes armies are probably harder to paint than War Machine armies. Because War Machine armies tend to have more armour. Stiff cloth or like reinforced cloth and machinery, whereas your Hordes forces, it's mostly flesh fur, monsters of some description.
Mottled skins,
dragon spawn or whatever else you've got. And so lots and lots of eyes. Or stone, and even stone, if it's not done in the right way, just can look really, really weird.
Depends how many large flat surfaces you've got on it.
Well, if you're looking at maybe the Waldrath, that's a lot of big surface areas. Fine, it has the nice carvings and stuff in it.
Yeah, it's got some nice carvings, which could save you on that one, I must admit. I would argue that's probably one of the easier ones to paint.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Because grey's quite a forgiving colour as well.
Whereas something hence why most of my fleet is grey.
I'm never going to live this down, guys. No. Every time it's just, once in a while you'll think it's gone, forgotten. Pop! There it is again! Ah, we got him again.
What were we talking about?
I'm not... just want to choke you sometimes.
Mortis, then. Let's talk about something else then. Talk about big grey scary things. The big grey scary plastic kit, the
Leviathan Mortis.
The Leviathan Mortis.
Yeah, it looks so pretty.
Yep, nice big scythe arm, nice big claw.
You were in on the Kickstarter for the
I've got
Leviathan.
I've got the Leviathan standard in the 25mm version, and I should have at some point the alternate arms coming as well, so all the different weapons. There was the option for the Mortis, and it was tempting because I could have done it for my Duck Mechanicus army, but I kept to the standard one.
So you resisted?
Yeah.
You resisted.
Duck Mechanicus has got a big a lot of big gribbly things already, and because they're all kind of spider based, it would look weird then having a biped.
By 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
You should get some pictures of your Dark Mechanica stuff and put it up on the
Well,
site.
Gav, if you put it on the forum, I'll put a link to it in the post below.
Yeah,
because it's different. It's not. You don't see many armies like it. So
No.
It's different.
Yes.
I like it.
But as well as that, speaking of the dark distant future, today's event, we have
Dark Distant Future?
Yeah.
Dark Distant Future?
Yes.
I have no idea what you mean. Oh, do you mean Tyrannic War?
Yeah,
You mean
going
the
on
grim
downstairs.
darkness of the...
Grim Darkness of the Far Future.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got Tyrannic War, which is running at the moment, which is a Warhammer 40,000 narrative campaign, pitting. It's set during the Tyrannic Wars, specifically the Second Tyrannic War for you 40k history buffs out there. You're going to have, so Gav's going to be there with his Tau.
Yep.
And he's cropping up with his Salamanders.
I'll be there with a video camera.
We've had large bio titans and other beasties arriving by airmail all through the last week or so.
Oh dear, oh dear.
As some people have decided coming in, a couple of people are going to be flying into Southend Airport here, and because they want to bring their armies in as hand luggage, all their super heavy stuff, they just packaged it up, loads of foam.
Airmailed it?
Airmailed
Need to
it to us
package it up.
beforehand.
Yeah, like
Nice.
the way some of those people hand them. Yeah. Chuck it around and
Foreigners
hope
for you,
that doesn't
Andy.
happen. What, in Southend?
But no,
Southend, yeah.
okay. From everything we've heard of the event so far, it sounds as if it's going to be a really, really good weekend for everybody.
I hope so. It looks like it's going to be a good one, but there's quite a nice mix of armies. I think almost every faction is covered because, like all things in 40k, it's very easy to kind of look at like the War for Armageddon or the Tyrannic War or something like that, or the Badab War, and just assume that was the only thing that was going on. Yeah, even during something like the Horus Heresy. It wasn't just the Siege of Terra, for example. That wasn't the only thing that was happening in the galaxy.
Multiple war zones
on millions of other planets, there was Orcs and Dark Eldar and whatever else was going on.
Yeah, everybody else was still having their own scraps.
And the same with the Tyrannic War. So you've got High Fleet Kraken is descending on the Imperium. The Eldar and the Imperium are directly affected by the Tyranids, but also the Tau are pushing and taking advantage of the situation, fighting some Tyranids, but also trying to take territory as and where they can. The Orcs are still an ever-present threat.
Well, the Orcs are just going, all right, they look hard, let's have a go.
Yeah, and it doesn't really matter who they are.
Yeah.
Chaos is obviously taking advantage of the anarchy and chaos with the small c in the area and trying to get involved. Dark Eldar are happy to fill their gladiatorial pits with slaves of all kinds.
Yep, and beasties from the fleets.
Indeed. So there's every opportunity for all sorts of different races to get involved, and that's the great thing about any narrative campaign. It's not too much of a stretch to work out what your army would be doing. They may not be taking direct involvement in the main storyline, but any good campaign will have secondary goals or secondary storylines, which you can be a really integral part of.
I'm looking forward to because I get to put my town on the table with the new rules, and hopefully from that get some tips that I can then feed back to the viewers as well at some point.
Yes, because that's the other thing that a few people have been crying out for, and it is coming, which is tactics and tips for Taus. So we've got you.
Yep.
And we're hopefully getting Jack back in as well. I think he said he might be free sometime next week. Have you two been chatting online?
Yep. So
okay,
hopefully sort that out.
Watch this space, guys, for the return of tips and tactics.
And hopefully I won't get too much of a trouncing and actually have some tips.
Throw the Tau in.
Yeah.
The tie-in. Really? Are you proud of that?
Yeah, really,
it really is.
Really proud of
it. Wasn't insulting to anyone. It wasn't lewd. It was a quite,
It's almost as bad as me turning to you going, I must ask you a question.
Moustache me a quick. See, I like that. I like a good pun. I do like a good pun.
I know. You're just looking very disappointed, Gav.
Do we have a prize winner?
Yes, we do, because we had Dreadball Academy episode 1 go out last week.
Yes.
The challenge was to name your team, and the prize was a copy of Dreadball Kickoff.
Fantastic.
And if I'm right, you have the winner's name right here.
I have...
that is Carl VFR777 from Beasts of War.
Oh, okay. I was looking at Marvel Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is obviously something we're going to
No, that's something for later.
We'll talk about the XLBS, but I just thought, Agent Coulson. Oh, well done. I thought you were dead. He's secretly winning Dreadball Kickoff, which has worked out well. So Carl VFR777.
Yep.
You guys with your catchy names are just stunning. Is he the same Carl VFR777 from Dakar and other places?
I have no idea, but he won with a name for the Forge Fathers, which was the Shortstop Iron Breakers.
Shortstop Iron Breakers, I quite like that.
It's quite a good name,
I
yeah?
quite like that. Yeah. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the Dreadball stuff. Now, one of the things, the Academy we've had,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have been talking about the Flames of War for the win.
Yeah, right.
With our resident Time Lord.
Yeah, anybody who hasn't figured this out already.
The Doctor dies this weekend, today, and that's who he's coming back as. That's the big reveal.
So he's the 12th Doctor?
He is the 12th Doctor.
You see, I've been hearing things about John Hurt, but I'll save that for another time.
Yeah, I could go on to any forum and just start a network by going, Felicia Day will be the next Doctor.
Never going to be a woman. Right,
Or American.
Or American, yeah. That's a good point.
Sorry.
Yeah. But no, anyone who hasn't figured it out yet, the plan at the minute is it's going to switch week to week between Flames of War for the win and the Dreadball Academy.
Okay, cool.
So yesterday we'll have
Fortnightly, as we call it in the trade.
Yeah, so yesterday will have been Flames of War for the win. This coming Friday will be the Dreadball Academy episode 2.
And the week after that?
Flames of War for the win. For those of us who aren't paying attention, it's okay, Gav, it's okay. But no, it's 2 really great series, and hopefully the next episode of Dreadball Academy isn't an hour and a half long, making me burn my eyes out.
Because obviously you're the only person other than Dave and Warren who are in it, and obviously they can't see themselves.
Yeah.
So how's that looking, the next episode?
The next episode of Flames of War for the win, which is out yesterday, if we've got to get the timeline right, was Warren's first game. So basically he started to run through some of the mechanics for the game, so starting off with the tank battles and then building from there. Basically, you know the little quick start rulebook you get with Open Fire? Basically he took it and said, you know what, let's actually see how good this is on camera. We'll actually just work our way through it, you know. So it's him and Dave running through that, you know, simple little stuff. They're using everything that's from the box. It's all built unpainted, so it's grey and green on the table.
Not grey.
Damn you, Gav! Damn you, cut your eyes!
Yeah, walk straight into that one.
Yeah, the funny thing is I never intend to do that type of thing. No, literally, I'll say the most innocent thing and then suddenly, boom.
Damn it.
Yeah, just that moment of, damn it! Again! But no, they seem to really be having fun with it. I know 1 or 2 people on YouTube decided to sink the bit into David, but you know, he's a good guy and he really enjoys the game.
Is that Dust Boot or?
More puns, more puns.
But it's
Okay,
always,
stop
Getting
fun.
that sinking feeling with these.
It's always
shows
tricky
today.
though with historic games is unless you really studied your history a great
Yeah, but
deal.
Dave knows his history well enough. It's just
Yeah,
you get some
but there's
people-
always someone out there who's a little bit more fanatical, a little bit more.
Whenever
into
I used to
history,
do
which-
World War II reenactments, we used to call those people the stitch counters. So quite simply, one of my mates was at Beltring one year. In his full kit, someone came up to him and said, yeah, your belt has 1 stitch less than it should. Literally.
Did he then take his belt off and beat him with it?
I don't know, I never got the end of the story, I fell asleep.
Yeah.
I mean,
Can't you do anything for fun anymore?
well, you see, this is the thing. I don't want to. At the end of the day, somebody's hobby is whatever they make of it. So there's going to be some people out there who actually getting it right. The details, the small details, maybe not the stitches on a belt, but the small details of things are important. I'll be honest, some of the stuff that came up in that first Flames of War, I think both Warren and Dave got very excited about things and made some mistakes on some of the rules as well, and people quite rightly picked them up on it.
Yeah, but that
that's
can happen
reasonable
with
as well.
anything. You know,
Of course it
whenever
does.
you're chatting, you're having a laugh, something will slip.
Well, I've seen most of the Beast of War videos, and there's usually some
there's
factual error in there somewhere.
Yeah,
I've done
somewhere.
a few myself. I mean,
Yeah,
we're only mostly humans.
At the end of the day, it's just we're all doing it because we enjoy it. You know, we wouldn't if we didn't.
Yeah, and I think for every player that, and this is only my take, but for every player that's into Flames of War that thought that the video, the Flames of War for the win, was okay or disappointing or what have you, obviously I'm sure Warren and Dave are sorry that was felt that way, and I'm sure that they'll take on board any constructive feedback and see what they can improve on. But actually, there was quite a few comments there for people who hadn't ever gotten into Flames of War before, and based on the video, thought, this is something I want to give a go.
Yeah, they've actually looked at it and went, wait a minute, this is actually looking rather fun. I wouldn't mind a go.
And surely, for the other Flames of War players who already play, if the video is recruiting new people into that hobby and giving them potentially new opponents or new people into it, then that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And then the video has actually served a really important purpose.
Plus,
Just my take.
I'm sure those guys have made mistakes, and that's the best way to learn as well. If you make a mistake,
True. You never learn anything if you win every game you play.
Exactly.
No?
Yeah. No.
Well, some would argue you wouldn't need to, but. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of mistakes, by the way, here's a really cool one. Now, deliberately, I have, for the very first time in any video that I've ever done with you guys, I have made a very elementary mistake for the entire run of this video.
Yes, you have. I wasn't going to point it out. I was going to try and Photoshop it out, but now you've mentioned it.
We haven't turned
You're going to Photoshop it out. You're going to Photoshop it out
half your chest,
every single frame of the video.
No,
So,
I wouldn't have to. I would just have to do a clever little overlay.
Professional, noob.
Hello. I've got my wire.
Suddenly, the audio goes crackly.
Right, so
Yeah.
I've left the wire out. I apologise to you all at home if this has spoilt in any way your enjoyment of The Weekender. If it has, please leave a comment below. I'll take on board and I'll make sure that I don't do it again in future. I promise that I'll fix it in time for the XLBS.
But to be fair, you don't want him to try and fix it right now because you would have to lift his shirt.
Well,
And that's mental scarring. So on that high note, I think it's time to say goodbye,
First thing in the
everybody.
morning, you know, you don't want to be seeing that.
Yeah, so I
Or
think...
last thing at night.
Any time, really.
Lunchtime.
Well, I mean, like,
Lunchtime's pretty bad.
once this video goes out, people can watch it at any time, anywhere in the world.
Do you think that... Yes. And anyway, and on that note,
Yes.
thank you all very much for paying attention to our witterings. And we hope you have a great morning. Those of you with a backstage pass, we'll catch you in a moment. For the rest of you, you don't know what you're missing out on. See you later.